Welcome, everybody. It's time again for another episode of SLMA Radio, one of the longest-running B2B radio shows around. Interviewed over 500 executives over 10 years and 100,000-plus listeners. Today, we're privileged to have our guest host, Laurie Beasley, president of Beasley Direct and Online Marketing. Here to help us out, keep the show going, and talk about incorporating the 6 universal buying motives to improve email copy and response rates. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you, Paul. Paul's our announcer on SLMA Radio. I'm Laurie Beasley, president of Beasley Direct and Online Marketing, and I am your host for this program today. Today we're going to discuss incorporating the 6 universal buying motives to improve your email copy and response rates. And I hope that you'll enjoy this topic as much as I've enjoyed preparing it for you. I've been doing email marketing now for almost 25 years. It's been a long journey that us email marketers have gone through. I remember the days when any email sent out would perform really well. And those were such glorious and easy days for us email marketers. But as time has gone on, email marketing has faced increasingly more difficult challenges in so many different areas, from deliverability, spam filters, the different email marketing systems that we've had to learn and master over the time, and they have all changed and been upgraded and rework the way that they handle their data and their workflows. So today, email marketers are faced with so many more challenges. And I think in the midst of all of the sort of operational challenges and deliverability challenges and data challenges that marketers have faced, they've been so overwhelmed by them that we've almost forgotten how to do good marketing in the midst of all of the challenges. And what I mean by good marketing is remembering who the customer is and writing good copy and good content and selling our product to them. And so today I want to just take a step back and talk about what is good email copy and what is good email marketing in a day and age when we've been struggling with so many email marketing operational issues and so overwhelmed by it. How do we get ourselves back to the place where we are writing great email communications, where we are inspiring and incentivizing customers to respond and to buy from us? And how do we write good, if not great, copy? How do we get away from allowing the product manager, quite frankly, to dictate the copy content and forcing us just to get ourselves into a cram it out mode? And in fact, nowadays it feels to me like the marketing calendar dictates what's going out and the product managers dictate it more than really the ideal and the idea of great copy and great communications. And often I feel like the email marketer thinks that they've done their job if they've gotten the headline to fit the banner just right, or if there's just the right number of sentences, bullet points to fit the email template copy area, or if they got it into the template, fit into the marketing calendar and the data loaded and it's just going to get approved and out on time. But did anyone stop to think if the headline made the prospect feel better about choosing your product over the competition? Or if the bullet points answered their need for time savings and convenience? Probably not, because the emphasis is on the template and the schedule, not on the need to write copy that gives the prospect motivation to buy your product. I feel like it's time to stop and think about what your recipient needs to know about your product. The best book I've read on advertising is an old book, actually, and it was written 3 decades ago by David Ogilvy, and the book is called Ogilvy on Advertising. And in the book he says, and I quote, "The customer isn't a moron. She's your wife. You insult her intelligence if you assume that a mere slogan and a few vapid adjectives will persuade her to buy anything. She wants all the information you can give her," end quote. And he was right. You need to give a consumer a real reason to consider and buy your product and not the competition. Mere slogans and soundbite won't do it. Anne Handley said in her book, quote, "Everybody Writes," to me, the thing that's most important in marketing today is the idea of empathy. I would even go so far as to call it pathological empathy. You've really got to focus relentlessly on the recipient, end quote. Good writing requires us to have empathy for our audience, their situation, their needs, their goals. That means you have to meet people where they are with an attitude of benevolence and, I think, largesse to help them find answers to their problems. And I know that this starts with an understanding of their buying motives. There's been some research done over the years. A gentleman named Roy Chitwood, a couple decades back, came up with something called the 6 universal buying motives. I highly believe these as a excellent framework to use in approaching your copy, whether you're writing an email, an e-guide, or a website or any other content piece. It allows you to consider what your customers' real buying motives, what they really want, and help you position your product's features in ways that will benefit them according to their buying motives. And when you meet people's buying motives, you've gone a long ways to convincing them that they actually should want and need your product. Let's talk about those buying motives for a minute. Listing product features may convey information, but it may not persuade the consumer to buy. Why? The feature may not help them relate the product to their problem or fear. You need to do that to them by turning the feature into a benefit that fits into their motive for buying. And not to bash product managers, but honestly, I have worked with product managers for 30 years in my career now. They are really great at coming up with lists of product features because they've been working with the engineers on that, but they're very poor on translating them into benefits that meet the 6 universal buying motives. That should become your job as a marketer to do that, and maybe interview the product manager and some customers that have purchased to get to that. And what are the 6 universal buying motives? Number 1, the desire for gain, which is usually somewhat related to financial. Number 2, fear of loss, probably financial. Number 3, comfort and convenience. Number 4, security and protection. Number 5, pride of ownership. And number 6, satisfaction of some kind of emotion. Every feature of every product or service you sell should be communicated to answer one or many or more of the 6 universal buying motives. And if it doesn't, then you should reconsider the product or the feature, honestly. I would bet if you go back and take a look at what you're selling or marketing, and if you took your list of product features and began to restructure your communication according to those 6 universal buying motives, you would start to make a radical change and a radical difference and improvement in your marketing communications. We're going to take a break now. When we come back, I am going to translate those buying motives into how they relate to both B2B products and B2C products. Paul, I'm going to hand it back to you for a minute.
We just want to remind everybody that today's show is being brought to you by Beasley Direct and Online Marketing. They provide services in inbound and outbound marketing, including search engine optimization, pay-per-click programming, advertising, content creation, email marketing, website design, lead generation, and nurture campaigns. They also help work with marketing automation management and list building for both B2B and B2C companies. So if that's something you're looking for, you can find them at Beasley Direct. That's BEASLEY, BeasleyDirect.com. That's BEASELY, direct.com. Beasley Direct for all your online and direct marketing services. All right. Having listed all that, let's enlist her help to wrap up this show again here and come back with the second half. Back to our show.
Okay, we're back. I'm Laurie Beasley, president of Beasley Direct and Online Marketing, and I'm your host today. And we're discussing to improve email copy and response rates. We're talking about the 6 universal buying motives, and just to review them again, they are the desire for gain, the fear of loss, comfort and convenience, security and protection, pride of ownership, satisfaction of emotion. Now I want to translate those into how they relate to B2B products, because you don't really think of a B2B product per se really satisfying an emotion maybe or a desire for gain, but really they do. Let's just go through that list again to tell you how that translates. So let's look at number 1, desire for gain. For a B2B buyer, if they buy the right product, they could usually advance in their career. They could get better performance reviews. They buy the right technology product or whatever solution they're looking for their company. If you communicate your product to them in a way that helps them realize they're making the right decision for the company, and that will translate to them gaining in some way in what they want to achieve for their career advancement, you will be taking your product argument to them and advancing it significantly. Number 2, fear of loss. In a B2B situation, if they make the wrong product decision, they have their job security or unpleasant surprises that could come up. So if you communicate your product to them or your service to them to help them realize that you are going to help them be secure in their job, you're going to help them avoid unpleasant surprises as it's implemented, as it's brought on board, then again, you're communicating your product according to universal buying motives. Number 3, comfort and convenience. Less late hours, fewer angry users or bosses. People who are buying products for the company, they hate inconvenience. They want the product to work right, and they want it to be implemented smoothly. Don't want complaints. They want this to go well. Help them understand how you're going to help them avoid those inconveniences. Number 4, security and protection. Help them realize that your system's going to work as it's supposed to. It's going to keep them secure and keep them protected. Pride of ownership. If they make the right decisions for the company, they're going to be able to take credit for a new and better solution that they brought to the company. That carries a lot of weight in being able to keep their head high and get a lot of street cred out there. Satisfaction of emotion. Elegant systems that make the enterprise work better. My husband works in implementing marketing automation systems for companies, and he brought just yesterday a really awesome solution to a client. The company was so happy with him, and yesterday he was walking around like a puffed up peacock because he was getting all kinds of kudos and great job, Dave, and Dave, you're awesome. And I just saw how he just had that satisfaction of emotion being able to integrate 3 really difficult products together and getting so much street cred, kudos from everybody, that is that satisfaction of emotion of bringing great solutions to people and getting that great street cred. Now let's talk about B2C products. How do you translate those universal buying motives to B2C products? All right, the desire for gain, which is usually financial. A desire for gain is your solutions help them make more money, have more financial security, help them save money, help them make more money. However your solution helps them in that gain, whatever that gain is, communicate it that way. Make sure they know that, because the desire for gain is a universal buying motive. Fear of loss, usually financial, but it could be other kinds of loss. It could be accidents and disasters, health problems, job security. Whatever your product or service does that helps people realize that they will not experience that loss or can help mitigate that loss, communicate that to them. Help them know that. Comfort and convenience, quick delivery, easy assembly, however you give them that comfort and convenience. Look at how Amazon and Uber have just capitalized on the convenience factor and just delivering almost instantaneous satisfaction of 1-2 day delivery, instant driver to your doorstep type of convenience. That is what consumers want, and the more you can communicate that comfort and convenience to them, the better off you're going to be. Security and protection, safe travel, secure home. You have these keywords and put them and integrate them into your copy, but don't just make them keywords. Make them assurances and promises. Number 5, pride of ownership, newest solution, fashionable, trendy. Make sure that you help them know that you are going to be satisfying that pride of ownership and giving them what they really want. Something that's beautiful, that makes them feel good, that makes them feel like, ahead of their friends. Because pride of ownership is honestly a universal buying motive. And then satisfaction of emotion. Family is happy with your choices and decisions. Oh my gosh. Well, if anybody has children, mom and dad are on the hook for making the whole family happy with vacation choices, all kinds of things. And so it's really important to make everyone in the family happy and reassure them that, your choice, the decisions you're going to make are going to make everyone feel good. Disney family vacations have done fantastic because they've got something for everyone. That satisfaction of emotion, everyone feeling like you're going to be happy with the choices and the decisions that you've made and expressing it that way. So how do you turn all of this information then literally into email copy? It's not formulaic. Okay. Let me put it that way. These become building blocks of persuasive and effective email copy. And you may wonder, how much impact does this approach have on email response rates? We've been hired as an agency to rewrite multiple companies' email nurture streams. And in many cases, these companies set up their marketing automation software. They built their email templates. They threw copy into them because they knew they had to set up their email nurture streams. And they said, okay, we've got this content piece. We've got this nurture stream we have to set up. We do this and we this. And they followed a very templated, formulaic approach. And they found that their open and their click-through rates were poor, and came to us to problem solve for them. And in almost every one of the cases, we identified that they gave people very little reason for wanting to read the content. And it harkened back to they gave people very little reason for even wanting their product in the first place. In other words, they did not go to the universal buying motives. And in many cases, the content itself did not harken back to the universal buying motives. So they were presenting weak content and writing weak emails about weak content. Now, we weren't always able to fix the weak content, but at least we could start to problem solve some of the positioning around the product and help them understand how reading some of the content might solve some of their product problems, even if we couldn't fix the content. And by fixing some of the email content, in every single one of the cases where we rewrote the nurture streams, we were able to improve the click-to-open rates by 25, literally 100%. I am not kidding. It makes a significant change. And not just click-to-open, but open rates. Just writing better subject lines. Helping people understand that this content is for them, that there's a real problem to be solved, a real need to be answered. In the first place, for one thing, help go a long ways to helping them understand whether they should even read the email in the first place. And I know it's time consuming and it's hard. And I know in the rush and the hubbub and the struggle of the day-to-day operations of email marketing, I have to stop and really think about this, and to write great copy just is a hard thing to kind of find the time and the budget to do it. But if you can, and if your nurture streams are important to you, and if getting higher conversion rates are important to you, then I think it's worth the time and the effort and possibly the expense to get a real good copywriter who writes the universal buying motives to go in there and rework the copy. It's a little hard to talk about examples on a radio program, but I do have some examples in a blog I wrote, which if you go to my blog at beasleydirect.com, you can find it. It's in April 2019, and just look for it about this, and you'll see some examples. But there's a big difference between writing a headline that says, read our e-guide, learn to clear your desk without adding head count, read our e-guide. And this was for a company that does help desk software. And this is an e-guide that we wrote. We wrote the email to promote it. And the headline above the subhead that I just read to you is Fast Incident Resolution. Eliminate the roadblocks. Learn to clear your desk without adding head count. Read our e-guide. That headline and that subhead spoke immediately and succinctly to the trouble and the buying motives of IT managers who have headaches abounding over their help desk management problems. And they need fast incident resolution. They need to eliminate their roadblocks, and they need to do it with unlimited budget without adding headcount. We put all of those concepts into that headline and help them to understand, if they read the e-guide, they would learn how to eliminate all those problems by reading the e-guide that we had just written. That is writing to universal buying motives, not just throwing a headline in there. I teach a class through the Direct Marketing Association of Northern California, www.dmanc.org, on email marketing. And I was looking for some examples from my class on good headline writing for emails. And I literally just Googled email examples. And I came up with about 1,000 images of emails that Google presented to me. And I was so sad to see how poor the copy was on emails. I saw literally 1,000 examples of very poor, unbuyer motive inspired copy. But one stood out to me that I thought was really clever, and I thought I would just share this with you. And this was from J. Crew. That was obviously around Halloween. They were presenting some kind of a sale, and the headline on this email was, "This is the flash sale equivalent of the house that gives out full-size candy bars. Get your treat now." Was the button. Do you really like surprises? Stop by stores this weekend for a mystery sale. No tricks, we promise. Well, what a great headline. What person doesn't like a full-size candy bar? For one thing, it was humorous, but also it talked to a universal buying motive of people wanting more for less and people loving surprises and loving a treat, and done in such a wonderful and warm and engaging way, obviously to customers, because they were talking in such a familiar and warm way. And I thought was written by a really smart copywriter who knew how to have fun with the customer and to just say things in such a warm and rewarding way to the customer. Here's another example, and this is just from our portfolio, and we'll end on this. This is for a company that offers personal loans. The headline is, "You have instant cash available. It's quick and easy to get the money you need. Just contact us and you can have up to $170 available in your bank account by the next business day. You may be eligible for additional funds over your available credit line. Our customer service representatives are available for you to claim your available cash. Your status is approved. Availability is immediate. Cash amount is $170. All of those things are all very positive, reaffirming, instant, convenient, no hassle. You're eligible, no questions asked, very reassuring and affirming words. All those things that are in a universal buying motive for a consumer who obviously had asked about some kind of a personal loan, and they were given complete assurance that they had a certain amount of money available to them and they could have it within 24 hours. I will end on this. I hope that some of these points were useful to you. I would love to hear from you. You can reach me through my website at www.beasleydirect.com. There's a contact form there. That's it today. It's been a pleasure. Paul, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
You've been listening to another episode of SLMA Radio with our guest host today, right here on the Funnel Radio Network, for at-work listeners like you.